morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on time zone. God bless you. My name is Pastor Yemi Omogboyega. With me is my wife, Pastor Mrs. Mary Omogboyega. God bless you as you listen to us. Thank you for patronizing our channel. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, like our videos, share our videos so that others can benefit from them. Then press the notification button so that you can get to know when we upload new videos. God bless you. And this is a straight talk this morning, not sermonization. And I hope it will profit you. And the title of the message is Take Responsibility for Your Finances. Take Responsibility for Your Finances, Part 2. And in bracket, I will say now, don't allow your family commitments to ruin your finances. Don't allow your family commitments to ruin your finances. God bless you as you listen. Now, like I said, we cannot be talking from the skies. We cannot just be talking from the blues. I always like to give an example, the biblical example of on anything that I talk about, because that is the base. God is the source, and every other thing follows. So, even though, like I said, it's not a sermonization where we'll be praying and do all sorts of things, otherwise you will consider it religious. It is not religious. It is something that affects your life. It's something that affects my life. And I want you to take responsibility for your finances. Now, I just want to use one good example from the Bible, as to the position of a poor person, even in his community. In his family, we know that he has no mouth, he has no say, he's neglected because he has no substance. His advice, his everything is meaningless, and people can hold meetings behind him. So they will say, after all, what will he contribute? But now let's go to a biblical example of how a poor man is not reckoned with in his community. We are taking our short passage from the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 9. Ecclesiastes chapter 9. So we are taking it from verse 6. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 15, I guess. Verse 15. Yeah.
Now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city. Yet no one remembered that same poor man.
Okay. Can you hear that? So I need not tell you that in your community, if you are poor, if you like, be as wise as King Solomon, you will be forgotten. You will give them the wise counsel. They will take it and they will forget all about you. That's why I pray for you and I that may God not allow financial poverty to come into our lives in Yehoshua's name. And not just prayers, it is for you to do what is needful. Desire to make money, adequate, ample money. But don't be greedy. Take note, don't be greedy. Don't do it through crooked ways. There are legitimate, honest, godly ways of making money. Do not cheat. Do not yahoo. Do not kidnap. Do not defraud. So take note. Now, like I said, this gentleman was so wise, you see, but he lacked finances. So he has no reputation. So even you may be wise in your family, you may still have no reputation because you have no substance, financial substance, to back up whatever suggestions you are making. What's the benefit of you knowing what to do telling them what to do, and you yourself cannot show leadership by example by starting the project off. So that is how terrible it can be for a poor person. So God does not want. Remember what the Lord says in Deuteronomy 28 that we read earlier in the first part of this message. Says, you shall be head and not tail, and you will be so blessed financially that you will have no need to borrow. Instead, you shall be a lender to nations. And I gave you an example in Nigeria of somebody who is not just a lender to nations, but a gifter to nations. I think that is the peak of it, when you don't even know what to do with the money, but you are now giving it to nations. And you know, before you get to that level, you must have blessed individuals, starting from your own family. All right, God bless you. Now, the topic, like I said, we are really looking at the aspect we are looking at. In that first message, I did say that people that can make you poor and remain poor, perpetually poor, or the bodies that can actually weaken your financial source so that keep you perpetually in poverty. I told you that the family is one of them. The family is one of them. The next one, the church of God. You must be aware of the church of God. They can keep you in poverty in perpetuity. And again, if you love luxury, you want to start enjoying life when you are young, not when you are old, that you will tilt to poverty. Bible even says is that, look, if you put luxury first in your life, you will tend to poverty. And also, if you are the type that yourself, you can ruin yourself. If you have no vision, you don't know what to do, and you just want to patch along, with others. That way, you'll be very poor. Another thing is, if you are lazy, God hates lazy people. Lazy people cannot be rich. All right? Lazy people cannot be rich because they will be they want to eat like a king, but they don't want to labor with their hands. That is why you have them, so many of them in your local families. So you need to be aware. So today, we are going to look at how the good and the bad side, or the ugly side of the family. All right? Now, can we begin to have the points now?
The good side.
The good side of the family.
One, companionship.
Just a moment, my God bless you. The good side of the family. Okay, companionship, yes.
Family support.
Family support.
Last resort.
Last resort. You see, the good side of the family can be summed under those three major categories. There are some other. Now, the family, let's define the family. The family begins, is like the story of the chicken and the egg. Which one comes first? So the point of creation is actually the point where we begin to define from. When God created Adam, he created Eve. So the family in the nucleus sense begins with the father and the mother, husband and wife. And then added to that is their children, or are their children. Their children. Then after that one, Adam and Eve, their own is, let me put it, is not as complex as ours. Was not as complex as ours. They didn't have predecessors. They didn't have parents that gave birth. They were a subject of creation. Let me put it that way. Sorry, this light might go off. I might have to continue, but let's see how far we can go. Please switch off the fan. So, as I said, the family begins from the nucleus center. So, like I said, the period of Adam and Eve, theirs were not as complex as ours, because today an average family has extended extended relatives who are also part of the family. Now, let's say in today's contemporary world, the father, the mother, the children, then their parents, all right? Their parents, their siblings, their siblings. Then if it's a polygamous home, the other mothers and their own children, which you call half brother, half sister, and so on and so forth. And today you also have your mother's siblings, yes, your father's siblings, and then the wider extended brothers and sisters, or uncles, cousins, and so on. They are all part and parcel of the family. What are the good sides of all this? The good sides is that the first people you know in the world are your parents. Then you know your father, you know your mother, you know your grandmother, you know your grandfather, you know your uncles and all that in the family. So you are the first person that you knew in this world are these people. So they are the one that received it into the world joyfully. Take it or leave it. Every one of them has contributions they made to your lives. The role of even neighbors are there, but let's just limit it to the family that we are defining. Now, your father, your mother, then they are their own siblings and their cousins and aunties, larger family. Then the children themselves, you as the children, you know yourselves. So you are siblings to yourselves. Now, this father and mother owe the children the duty of care. Owe the parents the duty of care. Owe their parents, siblings, duty of care. Owe their let's limit it to that now. Then the extended ones and so on and so forth. How do they are very good to you as a companion. The first thing that God made family to be is in companionship. You are not alone. In fact, you cannot just go. You are a foreigner to other families. If you go there, of course, they won't treat you the way these people will treat you, because they don't know you, and they are not like, there is this affinity, blood relationship. Blood is life. So these are the people whose blood run in your veins. So you are connected by blood. You are connected by everything. Therefore, they have the roles they play in your life, and then they are people that God blessing you, you must support. But don't allow your commitment towards them to destabilize you financially. Otherwise, you will be poor, because there is no end to supporting your family. There is definitely no end. So these are the very good sides. And then they are the best people you can run to in times of trouble. They are the best people you can run to in terms of getting good counsel. All right? They are the best people, your family. They are the people that will be with you. No matter how smart you think you are, I tell you, people have contributed to your life, even in the larger family. Let's start from your parents. Your parents will spend money on you, education, everything. They are not resting until you are settled in life. And then your siblings. Your siblings may have one contribution or the other. Even playing together, eating together, doing everything together, praying together is all part and parcel of the attraction to what family does for you. Then financial responsibilities. And they must have one way or the other helped you. Let me give you an example how how much support I got from my family. And because I like real life experiences. And I think my story will best tell, I could explain my own story better. For instance, when I was young, I had my fathers, I had my mother, I had stepmothers, I had um, brothers and sisters. You call some of them half, whatever, but I have my own brothers and sisters, that is my siblings. Then my mother's siblings, my father's siblings, my mother's extended family members, my father's extended family members, and so on and so forth. I want to tell you that all these people contributed, no matter how little, into my success in life, my good success in life. Let's look at the mother. My mother, of course, gave me God, showed me the way of the Lord. My mother took me to, ensured, because I remembered whatever education I have today, I owe to God and to my mother, to the vision of my mother, because she kept singing it that, look, aloud too, to my hearing, that I want my children to be educated in the Western way. And today, by the special grace of God, whatever I become educationally is the vision of my mother. And then my fathers gave me food, gave me moral support, gave me good counsels. In terms of financial commitment, you may say that they didn't directly finance, but somebody who gives you food has financed you. That's the truth. They may not buy clothes for me. My mother will do that. It's like a shared responsibility. Feed the children. Feed the mother, feed the children, everybody. But the mothers are the ones that will be responsible for the nitty-gritty of how you go to school, and then you buy books, how you buy pencil and all that. So my mother played their role. My fathers, they played their roles, and I appreciate them. Without food, even if I'm in school, I will learn nothing. That's the truth. And what about the good counsel they are giving to me? From time to time, my father will tell me stories. Like I told you, I have two fathers, legal and biological. My biological father will tell me good stories, will advise me, will do everything. My legal father will feed me and care for me in other ways and tell me stories too. In fact, he was not sparing as far as discipline was concerned. If you have had cause to read my autobiography, you would have understood what I'm saying. So these people, they play their roles. Now, that's my fathers and my mother. Then now going to my mother's siblings. My mother's siblings, whatever I become academically today, my mother's siblings contributed immensely towards it. At least one of them was the one that ensured that I continued with my education when in 1967 I should have lost hope of going to school at all because there was no financial capability. He took me away to go and live with me and enrolled me in a school. And with that school, I was able to read only primaries 3 and 4. While with him, before this kidnapper thing scared everybody in the village that we were living at Jegunle Idanre. choosing between going to school and being kidnapped. You know, my uncle had to decide and say, look, it is better you are alive than to say you go to school and you are lost. So I understood. But those 2 years, he did his best. But when we returned to, and he returned me home, I mean, together with him, all of us came back home to my town, and then I resumed my school. When I resumed my school too, now coming to my siblings, direct siblings, my sister, my eldest sister, took responsibility for my primaries 5 and 6 in school, and she did it to the best of her ability. You can see how they are contributing. Lest I forget, my mother's siblings, my mother's mother, my grandmother, had 5 surviving children. My mother being the firstborn, the second one, the Chief Adeniyi being the second, and so on and so forth. Out of those remaining 4, apart from my mother, there is none of them that didn't contribute to my overall welfare. They contributed in their own little way. May not be finance, maybe word of wisdom, might be encouraging. Even the fact that I had people to visit and they welcomed me well is something. So I felt very much at home with all of them. And some of them I will go to this, especially Chief Adeniyi and Chief Israel. I will go to their farms and enjoy my life. So coming back to my own sibling now, my sibling, my elder sister took charge, then followed by my older brother, Ajiboye Ilubusi, who took also. My elder sister took me from primary 5 to 6. Then my older brother took me from that primary 6 into a higher dimension where he enrolled me. That's what he had capacity to do. He had no funding, no financial capability to send me to regular schools. But he enrolled me in an institute. It's not where you go. It is what you make out of where you go. And he enrolled me to Secretariat Institute, where I started my life. And I maximized what benefit I got from it. This is how my brother, until I was able to take over myself, with God with me, and continued till now. The rest. Now, I told you earlier, you can be your own financial, you can bring about your own financial downfall. If these people have helped me this far, and after leaving them, and I decided to now go to luxury, I could have ruined myself. So when I started working, I continued to fund my education and up to the university level. And to God be the glory, God backed me up, and today I'm a graduate and I'm doing well by God's grace. So you can see these people have contributed from this community of families. You see that all of them have contributed immensely to get me to where I am. And so I will forever remain grateful to them. These are the good sides of the family. You see, they are the people that can accept you. They are your last resort. Every other person can reject you, but your family cannot reject you unless you demonstrate ingratitude to them. We should not be. That leads us to the second part of it. Now, what is the ugly part of the family? Number 1, you see, I did mention that unless you demonstrate ingratitude towards them, they will not reject you. But if now God has blessed you in whatever capacity, whether you become the president or whether you become just somebody who is comfortable, has taken care of himself, you owe them a duty of care. You owe them gratitude, just as you owe God gratitude. You owe them everything good. So don't think that you become who you become or what you become by your own hard work. These people have contributed in one way or the other. Even my stepmothers, I told you, they contributed in no small ways in my two homes. They contributed in no small ways to whatever I become. Because if they had hated me, they could have killed me when when I knew nothing. I'll go to them, they will feed me, they will take good care of me. God placed love in their heart and they demonstrated that love to me. Now, thank God, their labors upon me did not go in vain. Today, I am somebody whom God has blessed and I can be a blessing to them. So, coming back to the gratitude side, you owe them gratitude. You owe them duty of care. That's how I took my own life. That, yes, I owe these people something. Now, how do I manage such? First of all, I went to my mother's siblings. Of course, as God was helping me to rise in life, I considered children from them. Out of the four of them, at least out of three of them, I was able to say, let me show gratitude to them, to their parents. Say, okay, either come and live with me, let me mentor you, let me guide you. And God made that possible and it happened. Today, to God be the glory. I have the joy that I showed gratitude to those because those children took care of their own parents. Now, to my own parents, to my own siblings, yes, I also took their children to come and live with me. And I mentored them, and God made it possible for those of them who have ears. Not everybody. If I tell you everybody succeeded, it's a lie. But the truth is that those who listened, just as I listened to my parents, to my mother in particular, those who listened, today they are the better for it. And I am happy to have them around me. Now, I took all those cares in gratitude because I always tell them whenever any of the children come to me to live with me or for me to mentor them, I always tell them, look, I cannot pay back fully what your parents have done for me. But the best way to show gratitude to them is to take good care of you so that you can take good care of your parents in return. Then at the same time, that still does not disconnect me from showing my little appreciation in terms of giftings little by little as I could afford to their parents. But I looked at it this way. Even my own siblings, if God has blessed me so much, will I now be the one funding them forever? It's not possible because I will have my own responsibilities. So that's why I have to take everybody along, take their own children, so that their own children will be affectionate towards them. Those of them who took those good counsels, the parents enjoyed them. Even myself, I enjoyed them. Everybody in their own families enjoyed them. Their own children enjoyed them. Their families enjoyed them. So that is it. We give glory to God for that. So you see, your parents, your family will never reject you in any situation. Now, this is the crux of the matter that I want you to understand. In as much as you owe your siblings, your parents, your brothers, your sisters, the duty of care to make sure they are elevated, let your um, help for them be that something that will make them to be on their own. It's because you cannot be feeding them for life. Even at its time, you will go. So what becomes of them? So whatever you are doing to them should be, like the Chinese will say, teach somebody to fish. Not a matter of you giving them fish. What do I mean by that? Not a policy of, okay, you see, if you don't help the children of your siblings, how much help will you render to those your siblings? If you don't help the children of your mother or your father's, how much will you do for them in terms of giftings that will meet their needs? So to God be the glory. I experimented with that and it worked. But let whatever you are doing to them be something that will make them to be on their own, on their feet, fending for themselves. All right. That's my own um, idea about that. But do it in such a way that you don't ruin your own life. You don't go back into poverty and you don't remain in perpetual poverty because, you know, if you give everything you have and you become poor yourself, well, they may come back. Some may come back. Certainly not everybody. So, like I told you earlier, those who didn't make, can they make it in spite of your efforts? Can they come back to you to even bless you? But those who made it, they can come back to bless you. But the blessing they will render to you may not meet all your needs. Take note. So you need to make provision for yourself in such a way that you become self-independent economically, but socially connected. Self-independent economically, that is financially, but socially connected. That's very what is important. And how do I mean by that? Don't do things in such a way that you are taking care of families such that you have no time even for your own family. No, you have to know how to marry the two together such that one does not obstruct the other, one does not disturb the other. You must do everything to the point that you balance the equation. Now, don't take care of your larger family at the expense of your own children. You're educating your siblings' children, you're educating but your own children, you didn't pay their school fees. You didn't even educate them. That's foolishness. So you should know how to balance it in such a way that you spend on them, but spend on your own children. That is it. Now, having said that, what are the challenges that you have with family responsibilities? The first thing there is that family responsibilities, they are unending, especially the um, extended family responsibility. They are unending. You cannot exhaust them. And no matter how much you earn, unless you are stealing, and if you are stealing, the day they catch you, the day that everybody will run away from you, forgetting what you have done in the past. In fact, they will mock you. So there is no end to doing it. And unfortunately, there is this ownership mentality that these members of the families have over you. Ownership mentality, that is, what is the meaning of that? He's my uncle, so he must take care of my children, he must feed me, he must build a house for me, he must buy me cars, he must do this, he must do that, even though he is now rich. So I want to really identify so that, and then there is the social aspect of it that look, they want to boast that they have somebody who is rich in their family and trooping into you all the time. You see that man is financially ruining. That's the truth, because there's no way you can do that alone. It's a frank talk that you need to understand. There's no way, no matter how much blessed you are, you have to do things in moderation. All right, like I said earlier, don't do it at the expense of your own immediate family. Now, that is on the part of the family. Now, the larger family, they will have unlimited claim over you. Open check. They don't know how much you earn, but they want something bigger than your own earning. Now, your own children, let's come to them. Your own children. Okay, let me still talk about that one before we even go to your own children. Even your siblings, if care is not taken, they will so control your life that your matrimony can fail, that your children may not be catered for, that your life, honestly speaking, will be ruined. That's the truth financially. And once somebody takes hold of your financial, you are finished. Because of unlimited demands and the claims that I'm your brother, I'm your sister, to the point that they will control your home. You need to watch out for that too. And then, if you watch out for that, you notice those signs, there are ways out. What you owe your siblings, your larger family, like your mother's sibling, your um, father's siblings, and so on, is to help children in that place to grow up to be self-independent. Anything outside that, you'll be wounding yourself. So as I said, you need to be very careful. Your siblings, for instance, can take over your life, take over your property, set your children apart, and take over everything that take you over. You need to know, to understand. They are brothers and sisters to you. They are different from your wife. They are different from your children. You are in a community, yes, but everybody has his own role to play. You need them as much as they need you. Render help for them. Do not downlook them. Do not forget them. Do not run away from them. That's one thing. Don't run away from that. It will be a silly mistake. Because in one way or the other, they've helped you, even if to keep you company, they have helped you. So do not run away from them, but don't let them take charge over your life. That's the truth. This thing that I am saying, even is applicable to your own parents, is applicable to your own children. The moment you allow any of these segments to take over your life, you are going to live in confusion. You may end up being poor, and some of them may come back to even, because there is no end to their demands. They can ruin you financially. That's the truth, no matter how much you make. You won't understand this until you are getting old. It is then you will know those who are left for you, amongst your children, amongst your siblings, amongst your larger family members. You won't know those who are left, and who amongst them will be left that will be so consistent as to see you through until you die. Because they have their own role responsibilities. So, we have had cases where siblings will be the one dictating to you what you will do, even for your own children. The moment it's getting to that, they've taken ownership of you. How much you give to your wife. That's why you won't be as foolish as to hand over your wife to your siblings. Handing over, when I say handing over, taking instructions from your siblings to take care of your wife on what your wife should wear and whatever she should do and how much you will get and everything. It means you lack leadership. In as much as you can't separate them, you won't separate them. It's not advisable at all. Your wife should integrate into the family. The family should integrate into your wife. We should all operate in a mutually loving community. But the moment that it is your siblings, I'm still coming to parents. It is your parents, all right, that is lording it over. How you manage your own nuclear family, you've missed it. It means you lacked that vital thing called leadership. You are for them all, but you have to balance your family relationship. Otherwise, financially, you may be ruined, and even your life may be meaningless. That's the truth. Now, let's go to parents. Excuse me. Parents and children. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Parents and children. Let me tell you. Spend and be spent for your children. Do everything in this world for your children. But if you over pamper them, they may bring you to financial ruins. That's the truth. You may regret your old age if you ever live long. That is why in the first place, make sure that you don't bring forth the number of children you cannot take care of. You cannot take care of in terms of medical, in terms of feeding, in terms of shelter, in terms of clothing, in terms of education. And of all the things that I mentioned, education is the most key thing that if you compromise every other thing, don't compromise education for your children, because that is where you will give them the kind of do it yourself mentality. Do it yourself mentality. You see, from the age of 0 up to their age of university, which is about 2022 or 2025 years of age, you still owe them duty of care for education, for all those things that I've mentioned. But by the time your children are graduates, if you have your capacity, you can train them up to PhD level if you like, but that will be over pampering. After the degree, let your children begin to know that they will be responsible for themselves, even as part of their education, beyond where you're giving to them. Because with a degree, a child is exposed enough to navigate the world. If they want to fly, they can fly. Don't think that not until you train them up to PhD level. If you have the capacity, fine. But basically, what you need is degree, up to the degree level. Maybe masters, so that they can really stand well to navigate the oceans of this world and be successful. Now, I always say it, I always remind my children that look, once you are 25, you are independent. Independent. Because after that, after your children are graduates and maybe they start work and you still think that it is you that will be lording it over them, you missed it. Likewise, if the children still think that they can be coming to you as before to say, Daddy, we need this, Mommy, we need this, they want to ruin you financially, don't take it. That's your children. Don't take it from them. Because I want to tell you, what I discover about children is that there is no end also, just like the larger family. There is no end to their demands, and they would never be satisfied unless they are the people that God has given the heart of mercy. They will have no mercy upon you. That's the truth. Wait, let them be working. How many of them will come back to be feeding you? That is why you, as a parent, you should take care of yourself financially, that you can cater for yourselves after your children must have left you, not depending on them. Not depending upon your children, because you may be disappointed. I want to tell you, check whatever your children are giving to you. If any child is so generous in this world, he or she will give you between 1 to 5%. If a child is so merciful and he wants to take good care of you, by the time he spends 5% of his income on you, man, you are a lucky parent. It means that child is a grateful child. But I can assure you, hardly can they spend 10% of their income upon you. All right? Hardly. Your own children, no. Your own biological children. Hardly. And you know that the older you become, the more expensive your medical bills, the cares, everything. Hardly can they. So that is why you need to be up and doing in your finances. Don't take care of the children to the point that, oh, because they will pay you back, then you give everything to them. They still have so much to inherit after you must have left. The Bible itself says, you leave good legacies. Good parents will leave good legacies for their inheritance for their children. All your properties, everything belongs to them. They can do with it whatever they like with them when you have left. Let that be their residual blessing or the residual portion. May you not even have just one greedy child amongst the number of children you have. Just have one greedy one. He will not take care of you, and whatever you have, he will want to take it over at the detriment of the rest. If you have that kind of child, you are in trouble. And his or her siblings are in trouble. That's the truth. Because whatever good legacy you think you leave for them, he will want to commandeer it at the detriment of others. And that would bring about quarrels, disaffection, even among siblings from the same father and the same mother. That's the truth. But if God has helped you and you're able to balance that before you leave, then they should know that whatever you are leaving behind is an asset that they should build upon to better the lot of generations upon generations after them. But the greedy ones will want to take everything alone. Even while you are alive, they will struggle it with you. The greedy ones. That's the truth of the matter. So if you don't take care of your finances, you may suffer in your old age, even if you have 20 children that are well educated and well catered for, but have no mercy. That's the truth. You will suffer. So you need to be careful. Now, let's take another way in which you need to be careful. Maybe we should talk about that in addition. Although I wanted to make that another video. Let's just limit it to this family thing. Now, what are the ugly side of the family? Whether it is the larger family, whether it is your own children. Do you know that? Your parents, okay, let me quickly talk about that parents. Parents lording it over the children and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, you don't know, there is a thin line between love and domination. Some parents are very caring. They want to plan everything in such a way that children will not suffer. But unfortunately, the child or the children may misinterpret it to mean that you are lording it over them. And then instead of you developing love, advancing love, you see that they will misinterpret it to mean they will turn it to hatred. And they will hate you. They will even lie against you. They will even see you as their enemies. They will see you as, in fact, they will see you as somebody never to move close to. That's the price sometimes that parents pay for loving their children. They can confront you. They can go as far as telling third parties that you are the one undoing them because you want to hold on to their lives, which may be a lie. I'm not saying that there are some parents who are not domineering, but we should be able to distinguish between parents who are loving, who are counseling, not lauding, who are giving parental advice that will better the loss of their children, who themselves have catered for their children to the best of their ability. All they are continuing is in that love, but it may turn out to become hatred. So that is between parents and children. Unfortunately, if that happens, it's difficult to correct, because the more you try to show love, the more they will see you as hating them. It will take the grace of God, and it will take God Almighty to intervene for them to see the light, that you are not trying to dominate, but you are trying to better their lot. Take note. So parents, children relationship, all these are our children. Let them be that 22, 25 upwards years old, and then let them even be on their 80s. Then you see their true picture. Whether they will remember you or they will not remember you, whether they would even be grateful to you, and then whether they will still not be demanding from you instead of giving you peace. So it's a major challenge. So your own children can ruin your finances through their unending demands. That's the truth. Look, there are two ways to this thing. If parents are blessed, they can be a blessing to their children unlimitedly. How do I mean by that? If parents are so blessed, they can do whatever they can afford, but it will be voluntary from their own heart. And it will not ruin their own finances. It will not break them down. It will not give them sorrow. It will not give them pain, because they are doing it voluntarily. But if above the age of 25, a child is still coming to demand this, demand that, demand this, demand that, there is no end though. If you like, settle and settle and settle these children. They still have more to ask for in you, from you, such that you will be agonizing instead of having peace over them. Some of them will even, it will be well with them, so well with them, but they still, because of the kind of heart they have, that I remember one child that said, let us grab everything from this Baba before he leaves. He is rich. Let us, and he himself, everything he does it to gather things to himself. You will find that your children will be struggling for your bed while you are still alive. Not because they don't have, but everybody wants to take his own. Everybody wants to take the maximum. Everyone wants to take the biggest. That's how children give their parents sorrow at the end of all their labors. Don't let your children. Once you settle your children, you take them to the point there they should navigate the world and fend for themselves, let them go. Let them do what? Go. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. One thing I also discovered is that we parents, we love our children, we are planning for them. The children are not seeing the plan you have for them. They want to grab the best from you, and they fly away like the eagle to places where you hardly will hear from them. One of the cardinal ways in which you will know a child that is caring is a child that will care for their parents is once they start working, no matter how small, even if it is 1 kobo, they will remember their parents regularly, not intermittently. They will chat with their parents always. They will do everything to take good care of their parents. They will ask after their health. They will do everything. Even in that their little way. But any child that is not doing that, you know that if this child, by the time it is well with him or her, if he grows up to be anything, if he grows up to be Bill Gates of this world, he will never remember you. That's the truth. Any child that will bless you will start blessing you when he or she is young, even in their poverty. If it is word of counsel, if it's going on errand for them, if it is good for you, if it is taking good care of you, if it is caring, advising, and even praying for you, you will see those signs. But the ones that will kill you, that's the truth. They don't care whether you are alive. They grab. They will come to you. They will travel from their place. They come to you expecting you to pay their transport back. And when they come in, they didn't buy you a loaf of bread. That's a sign of wickedness on the part of children. They will have children in this world, they will dump them over you. Whether you have or not, it's not their concern. It's not their concern. They send them to you to be catering for, and they will not send you allowances to take care of them. That is a sign of wickedness. From your own child. That is why I love the statement that says, if you have a male child, don't rejoice. If you have a female child, don't rejoice. But pray to have children that will be caring. And the best prayer you could also have for yourself is plan your life in such a way that your finances are not in ruins, that you will depend upon your children for feeding, for medical, for housing, for clothing. I'm telling you, if you don't plan in such a way, you spend everything you have on them and then become nothingness. You will be shocked. You will be lucky if you have 4 children and maybe 2 or 3 of them are caring. You may have 1, that one is not caring. You may have 2, the 2 are not caring. You may have 4, 4 are not caring. But God may help you that you have more than that, and they are all caring. That's the prayer you should pray, that the Lord give me children that will care for me. And let me not also be a fool as to spend my life upon them and depend upon them. That is the life, the reality of life. Life does not smile with anybody. Your children will not smile with you when the problem comes. But there are some children, they are so caring, they are so affectionate, they are so everything good. But it may be just 1 or 2 amongst them. These days, I'm advocating that people should have 2 children. Yes, our parents in those days have many children. They say you don't know which one will care for you in the old age. They were correct then. But when you look at the responsibility of taking them to the point where they can care for you and caring for you after you have even labored is another kettle of fish. They may not. Those who will. But some, indeed, these days is going to the majority side of our youths. They care not for the generation before them. That is why you should be wary. Don't let your family ruin your finances. Plan your finances in such a way that you don't have to suffer at the end of it. You don't have to regret your life. That is why the summary of the family is that, like I told you, I analyzed it from father, mother, and then parents, father, mother, and then the siblings of your father, the siblings of your brother, and then uncles extended. Please navigate through all of them. Help those who will be helped. May God allow the help to yield results. You never can tell. It could be from that circle that God will take care of you in your old age. Why your own children may not even bother. That's the truth. You see why you cannot neglect your family? But the only thing is, don't allow any of them to take control of your life, to give you invoices that are beyond your power. Do what you can that will elevate them. Give them skills, give them knowledge, give them wisdom that will profit them. Let them go ahead also and fly. And if God gives them a heart of gratitude, they will come back to bless you. Now, your own children, give them everything in this world so that will enable them to navigate the world and get blessed. Please, don't sacrifice your life for them. I'm saying this categorically because many of them, let me say not most, because some families are lucky. Many of them will not look back at you when the chips are down. That is the truth. Therefore, don't serve your children to the detriment of your own life. Don't serve yourself to the detriment of your children's future. Lead them to the point where they can navigate. They will fly. Then, if they don't fly, that's their problem. May God allow our children to fly. Even animals, when they grow up, they will win their children. You need to see the chicken, the hen. What does it do? When it's winning the children, it will conquer their head. How long will I continue to put food in your mouth? So, parents, let your children stand. I pray that they will remember you. If they do, good. That's what Yoruba call Ajeomo. If they don't, you should not regret, because you are not even hungry in the first place. So, never compromise your life. Never compromise your children's life. Never compromise your larger family's life. Relate with everybody. If you compromise your life with any of those segments, you may ruin your own finances. You want to please them, you want to satisfy them, you want to meet all their bills, you will ruin yourself. So, as I said, let me stop here. The next one we are going to consider is the Church of God. May you not experience calamity, financial calamity from the Church of God. We'll treat that next. That will be part 3. Take responsibility for your life. And to take responsibility for your life, the key thing is take responsibility for your finances. Know how you generate and spend your finances. Put them in places that will profit you. I told you, you may train your children, they don't come back to bless you. Bless yourself. Make sure you have reserve that will take care of you. You may take care of your larger family. Nobody comes to bless you. Make sure that you can survive without them. The Church of God is the other one. This one is explosive. By the time it comes, it will be part 3 or so. We're going to look at that. And we're going to look at the one that is touching about if you give your life to luxury, how you will end. That is the truth. There are principles of life. No prayer will change it. The route you follow is the benefits is the profits you make. Profits can be negative, can be positive. The choice is yours. Deuteronomy 30:19. I lay before you today blessings and curses, life and death. Choose one. That's God. If you choose death, you will see that death is what will end you. If you choose blessings, Blessings will end you. And not only that, it will transfer to the fourth generation after you. So today, I lay before you the secret to financial success, the secret to make your life not miserable, the secret not to compromise your destiny, even for your children, not even for your larger family. That secret is what I'm exposing to you. I hope you will share it. Many people are groaning now because their families are ruining them. Their children are ruining them. Their larger families are ruining them because they could not find their bearings as a result of the various yokes they placed upon them. This message will free them if they are wise. Please get it across even to your enemies. You see that your children can be your enemies now. Your larger families can be your enemy. Anyone that is capable of ruining your financial capability is your enemy. And it could be you yourself not being wise on how to manage your resources, not being wise on how to generate enough money. Just as, don't you know how many budget headings you spend money upon? You have to consider how many sources that you will generate funds from that will be commensurate with your expenditure level. If you are not wise as to do that and be able to practicalize it, your life will be compromised. The equilibrium, according to economists, is when you have many sources of income, then you have many expenditure where you spend money to, and the two of them can cancel one another without hurting you. It is the equilibrium. It is then you are successful in the good sense of it. And remember, God says in Deuteronomy 28, I will bless you to the point that you have no need to borrow, and you will be lender to nations. For you to be lender to nations, you must generate money. I think I've discussed that at the part 1. Abundantly, unendingly, abundantly. That's God of abundance. John 10:10, part B. But if you don't generate them from different sources and good sources and legitimate sources, your expenditure will always overpower your income. And then you remain in perpetual poverty. You remember, don't forget, your family will deny you if you go back to poverty. Your community will deny you. Your church will deny you. Your parents will deny you. That's the reality. So, never choose poverty. Choose prosperity. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Please share. Subscribe. Press the like button. Press the notification button. I hope you have been blessed. Have a wonderful day.